since the last time I hopped on here, did a live stream. Um, I figured I got a few minutes. Why not just speak about something that I've been kind of thinking about recently? You know what I mean, in regards to what's been happening in the world of sports. Because one of the big reasons why I haven't really been putting out any much content is because, bro, I don't want to talk about politics anymore. And it took me months actually to get away from even like looking at politics. Like politics doesn't even really pop up in my YouTube feed or like my Instagram feed or any feed as much anymore because I'm just not into it as much anymore, man. But one thing I'm gonna say is this, right? Like recently there's been some things happening you know, as far as like Arsenal Football Club. And like, listen, it's sports. At the end of the day, it's sports. And, people are going to make money. If you're a player, you're going to make money, depending on what team you play for, depending on what level you at, playing sports. This is your livelihood. This is how you make your money, right? And they got fans, well, they put their money up in order to, be entertained by these players. They support a team, they buy the merch, they buy the tickets, they buy the stuff at the concession stand, all of that sort of stuff, right? And so people like this do have a big voice in, or should have a big voice in, what it is that happens in regards to that specific team, whatever that team is, right? But at the same time, it's not that clean cut. You can't expect and in regards to the little backstory first before we get into that. So with Noni Madueke, right? Like he's been getting all type of threats and nasty messages, people boycotting, people putting up petitions because he changed one club, you know what I mean, to another club. And the fans might, don't really like each other and this, that, and the third, right? But at the end of the day, I don't think the fans have well, not to say that the fans can't voice their opinion. You absolutely can, and you should voice your opinion, right? But at the same time, I think you take it a bit too far, especially when you got people that, like Mikel Arteta, people, Berta, people behind the scenes that are real football guys that know what it is that they want in a player, right? These are the qualities that we've identified in a player. This is the player that we want, or these are the qualities that we want from a player. And we identified this player as the one that suits these qualities. And this player is already Premier League proven. So let me go ahead and invest in this player, right? Maybe he has a technique or whatever it is that we can utilize in this team that we can create some space for him in order to get some shots off, or we can use his style in order to create some chances, whatever it is, right? Like, that's neither here nor there. But when it's all said and done, when you get to the point where it's like, now you're attacking a man, or you're trying to sabotage the deal that's pretty much already done. I believe it is already done. You know what I mean? I'm not entirely sure if it's already done or not, but I do believe it's already done. But when you get to that point where you start attacking a man's livelihood, like this is what he does to make, without him even kicking the ball, simply because he played for a different club, right? A club that is a rival club, and you understand what I'm saying? Like, to be honest with you, sometimes I don't even understand what goes on in people's heads. I don't get it. You could not like a player. There's plenty of players that I don't like. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do all of that sort of stuff. None of that's necessary for me. That's a lot of wasted energy. It's a lot of wasted energy. None of that stuff is necessary. What's necessary is, you know what I mean, if you say you support a team, whatever that team is, right? Because life is bigger than sports. But if you support that team, you support that team, right? For me, in a situation like that, oh, you know what? I'm not going to buy his jersey. Or whatever. You know what I mean? Whatever it is that you so choose to do, but to do something that extreme, it's not that deep, guys. It really ain't that deep. And to be completely honest with you, I do believe that a lot of these are all, athletes that have been, playing the sports for years, right? No matter how young they are, how young they seem, they've been doing this stuff for years. And they've gotten to that point where they're now at an elite level. And of course, you're going to have scouts that are identifying qualities that they have. All right, cool. Well, this might not be the most prolific name, but he might not be the same name as, I don't know, somebody that's up and coming. I don't know. Maybe let's say Embuemo. He might not be the same as Embuemo, but he does have some qualities where maybe we could bring out the best of him. Maybe we could turn him into a Brian Embuemo, or maybe, something, because every man is his own man. But maybe he could become the best version of himself in doing what it is that he does. So to be honest with you, like the extra emotional stuff, bro, I support a team. The extra emotional stuff is not going to... Look, for me, it's like this, right? If my team wins, great, awesome. You know what I mean? I'm over the moon. I'm ecstatic about it, right? But it's not going to determine how my day goes, win or lose, right? If it wins, yeah, that's good energy, whatever it is, right? If they lose, it's not going to affect me to the point where, yeah, I might, for a little bit, might be a little bit disappointed, but at the same time, it's not going to affect me to the point where I'm ranting and raving and this, that, and the third. I'll get to the point where it's like, it's almost as if I jump dimensions, right? And I'll just not watch sports for a good 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 weeks, whatever, a year, if I need to. You understand what I'm saying? And just not put my energy into that, especially if, I'm not feeling like I'm receiving what it is that I want from whatever it is that I'm watching. I just shift my attention. I just won't pay attention to it. You understand what I'm saying? For me, I just feel like a lot of times fans go a little bit too far, man. Fans go a little bit too far. You know what I mean? That nobody turns up to your job. And when you're getting, let's say you work for a company, whatever that company is, or let's say, you're going to a different company. And then let's say some random people that you don't know come and just try to sabotage it because, I don't know, they've been buying products from this company, whatever that company is. They come and try to sabotage you, your move. Like, it just wouldn't make any sense. And it doesn't make any sense on all ends. Like, I think the people that do certain things is just incredibly immature. Like, it's sports, bro. It's sports. It brings people together. You know what I mean? It's a way for people to kind of express a certain level of, like, tribalism, whatever it is. You know what I mean? But all in good fun. Not in a malicious way. Not in, you know what I mean? Like, it's just fun. It's just all in good fun, man. Like, you know what I mean? People going out there, like, putting their bodies on the line. Big up Rotten Apple, putting their bodies on the line, training in and out every day in order to be better at what it is that they do, right? In order to be elite at what it is that they do. And if you're entertained, you're entertained. If you're not entertained, don't try to, you know what I mean? Certain things you just don't do, man. Certain things you just don't do. I just don't believe in trying to sabotage somebody's chances. You know what I mean? Especially even before he even kicked the ball. Like, give the man an opportunity. You understand what I'm saying? Give the man an opportunity to, prove your theory right or wrong. Whether or not you like him, or whether or not you feel like he's a good player. Give him an opportunity. You understand what I'm saying? Whatever happened to giving a man an opportunity to just show you? He don't even get the opportunity to show people, you know what I mean, that, whether or not he's a good player or not. And I think he's a decent player. I think he's a decent player. I just think that, you know what I mean, it's really crowded over there on the blue side. It's really crowded. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm talking about Chelsea, right? It's really crowded over there. So, if you could identify some talents, or you could identify whatever it is, and you could say, all right, cool, well, this person may not get the opportunity to showcase what it is that they have, but we have the perfect opportunity for that individual. And you got people that know the game in and out, and they have identified these attributes, and they decided that they're going to work with this individual, and then you, some random dude from, you know what I mean? And I don't even really love the term random dude, because everybody's an individual, but at the same time, it's like you don't have anything to do with the situation. You're just an emotional person on the sidelines, trying to attack someone or attack, you know what I mean, an organization or whatever it is because they're doing something that you don't particularly agree with. And that don't make no sense to me, man. That don't make no sense to me. Just because they're doing something that you don't agree with, it's not something that's a human rights issue. They're not doing anything detrimental to you, right? They're not harming the environment. Nobody's being harmed. This is just people entertaining, right? People, providing you value through sports, through what it is that they're gifted at, through their talents or whatever it is, right? And it adds a different sort of dimension to life. And it's, for me, man, if you can't watch sports and just have that objective perspective towards it, man, maybe you should find other things that you need to do as well. It's because it's not going to do you no good. Because there's going to be so many things that happen that are so out of your control. There's so many things happening that are out of your control. But what are you going to do at that point? These things are out of your control. And then when these things go left, like let's say your team loses, and I see it so many times, man, somebody's team loses and they just blow a gasket, raise up their blood pressure, do all types of stuff, right? Because their team lost. Break furniture, this, that, and the third. All type of things because their team lost. Come on, man. That's not the most important thing. Like, it can't be the most important thing. You understand what I'm saying? It can't be. Because your team lost. Bro, how you been? My mother and I was talking about you. Haven't heard from you in a while. What's good, Brody? Yeah, man, I've been off this for a while, you know, DLC, because it's like I don't want to do politics. You understand what I'm saying? Like, politics isn't what it is that I want to do, and I don't want to be known for doing politics or anything like that. And you know, it was a point in time me actually thinking to myself, how can I actually provide value to, you know, the people that consume this content without it being something that goes so far left that we're talking about politics and then we get into, you know, talking about, you know, you already know, like, I don't even want to open the road to, you know, open the road. I don't even want to open the door to talk about that sort of stuff right now because, you know what I mean, it's going, you know, a slippery slope because everything that's happening are things that we warned people about. Like, we warned people that these things are going to happen. So my main thing is, all right, cool. So how can I provide value? You know what I mean? So I've been on a spiritual journey, man. I've been on a spiritual journey, like a real spiritual journey. And the spiritual journey that I was on, or that I'm still on, right? Like, you never really lead a spiritual journey. But it's like I started realizing certain things, right? I started realizing certain things from what it is that I was listening to, from the content that I was consuming, from you know, just basically everything, the whole journey, right? And what I started realizing is that, you know what I mean, what I started really focusing on, not realizing, but focusing on, is that everything that we see, touch, taste, and smell, everything is consciousness. Everything is energy. And I know you guys have heard me say that before, but it's gotten to the point where it's like, because I was listening to this one author, his name is Neville Goddard, and he's talking about living from the end, right? So I've basically been focusing on living from the end, as opposed to always wanting something or wanting to aspire to go somewhere or wanting to aspire to do something. It's like, nah, get into alignment with it, get into alignment with the frequency. Whatever it is that you want, just become that in the moment and just attract that energy to you, right? So I've just been basically on my spiritual journey, man, and you know what I mean, focusing on myself, focusing on my daughter. You know, took her out on a cruise yesterday. She was so excited. You know, there was a point in time where I was focused on like dating, you know, getting to know different women and all of that sort of stuff. And then I also realized that I was wasting a lot of energy in the way that I was going about that, wasting a lot of time, energy, resources in the way that I was going about that. So it was just a whole bunch of self-assessment that was going on at the time. And I just want to let y'all know that I'm back. I will be making more consistent content. You know what I mean? At least once a week, for sure. At least once a week. We just gotta pick a day. But I appreciate you though, DLC. I'm gonna go ahead because I'm upstate right now. I'm not gonna drop my location, but I'm upstate right now, and I got a few things that I'm gonna deal with. But I appreciate you, DLC. Big up yourself and tell your mom I said hi, man. All right, y'all. Take care. 1. All right, see, I don't even know how to end. Okay.